There is a place where they say dragons live under the sea, their thirst for fresh souls never quenched. It is a place where the water bubbles and froths and foams, where whirlpools swirl relentlessly, freak waves rupture the surface, and typhoons erupt from nowhere. This isn't the Bermuda Triangle. That story has been told. This is something far deadlier and far less understood. It is the Dragon's Triangle. The Dragon's Triangle is a region feared by the Japanese. The unpredictable, turbulent weather, the vanishing ships, and lost souls. Ships are rerouted or they disappear entirely. But if it isn't myths and legends that are sinking boats, what could be dragging them beneath the surface without a trace? There is definitely something out there. Folklore has described monstrous dragons living beneath the sea, but there is another, more plausible explanation. The Bermuda Triangle has been made famous through books and movies. Thousands of ships and aircraft pass through every year. The paranormal myths and legends have largely been dismissed over the years. But the Dragon's Triangle is different. Although quieter and less well known, it is deadlier and more mysterious. The recurring losses in a triangle of the Philippine Sea located between Japan and the islands of Bonin have been enough to seal the area off. Some say the Dragon's Triangle, also known as the Devil's Sea, is a blessing rather than a curse. Almost 800 years ago, Genghis Khan's grandson, the fifth great Khan of the Mongol Empire, tried to infiltrate Japan. 40,000 men were dragged to the bottom of the Devil's Sea, sending the conqueror and his remaining fleet running. This story was etched into the memory of the Japanese, a time when the angry sea sent one of the most feared warriors scarpering. But in more recent times, mysterious disappearances have plagued the locals. In the 1940s and 1950s, fishing vessels went to sea, never to return. Loved ones stared out beyond the breakers, wondering, waiting. Military vessels disappeared on routine exercises. A wing commander crossing the sea in 1945 sent his final radio transmission. Something is happening in the sky. The sky is opening up. And in 1952, a research vessel sent to survey the region vanished. Was something swallowing them, sucking them down into the depths? How could so many vessels disappear without a trace? Oceanographers knew there was something down there. The Dragon's Triangle sat within the Ring of Fire, a tectonic belt containing around 800 underwater volcanoes. This deadly ring shows no mercy. It shakes the ocean around it, sending monstrous waves inland. Most of the world's earthquakes are triggered along this boundary, which surrounds most of the Pacific Ocean. Could volcanoes be erupting beneath vessels that dared to cross the Devil's Sea? An eruption at that precise moment? The Japanese government launched an investigation. It was 1952. Research ship Kaiomaru No. 5 was sent to the region to find out why so many ships were disappearing. They were hoping to solve the age-old mystery. Unlike the fishermen and merchant sailors before them, the men aboard the research vessel were determined to find out the true cause of those disappearances. If underwater volcanoes were responsible, the scientists intended to prove it. If another force was at work, they would document that too. There were 31 people aboard Kaiomaru, 9 researchers and 22 crew. They scoured the sea. Using specialist equipment, they mapped the area, charted islands, navigated with open eyes and open minds. They were searching for the most logical explanation: the geography, the weather, the unexpected. A new volcanic island had sprung up from the depths, a reminder of the highly active region. Underwater volcanoes came and went. The seafloor a constantly evolving labyrinth of reefs. The mission began routinely enough. They headed south from Tokyo into the heart of the Philippine Sea. They recorded their findings. They radioed through their progress. Nothing suggested the voyage was about to become a disaster. When they set off from port, sea conditions were calm. Visibility was good. But that was all about an underwater volcano suddenly erupted beneath them, spewing volcanic rock and shooting sulfur clouds high into the air. Sulfuric slush rippled across the sea, stretching to the horizon. The search and rescue boats scrambled for cover, fleeing the scene. The search was abandoned, but the disappearances continued. On September 9th, 1980, the British cargo ship, the Derbyshire, navigated the Devil's Sea. She was dubbed the Unsinkable, but that name was testing fate. With no mayday, no distress signal, the ship carrying 150,000 tons of iron ore from Canada to Japan disappeared without a trace. Although it was later confirmed the Derbyshire had succumbed to Typhoon Orchid, her loss only added to the fear of the Devil's Sea. Japan formally designated the Devil's Sea as a dangerous region for marine traffic. It was clear that volcanic activity in the area was unpredictable and dangerous. Could these eruptions be responsible for the downing of all those ships and aircraft? It is true that the Dragon's Triangle sits in one of the most unstable regions on Earth, the Ring of Fire. But even with volcanic eruptions, islands forming overnight, deadly sulfur choking the atmosphere, there was rarely any evidence left behind following a disappearance. Why was there no debris or distress calls? Whatever happened to those lost in the Devil's Sea appeared to happen almost instantly. Scientific theories have come and gone. Magnetic anomalies have confused pilots and from below. Remove enough of that water and the mathematics keeping a ship alive suddenly collapses. Laboratory experiments have demonstrated the effect. When large volumes of gas are released into water, buoyancy drops dramatically. Objects floating comfortably on the surface can suddenly lose support and plunge downward. A bubble of that size rising up beneath a ship like the Maru research vessel is like removing the water beneath it. The ship doesn't slowly sink. The Kayo Maru would have suddenly dropped downwards, as though the sea had opened its mouth and swallowed it in one giant gulp. Nothing ever showed up on any marine maps or navigational aids. Sonar never detected it, and those on the bridge never saw it. No rogue waves racing towards them or storm clouds gathering on the horizon. But within seconds, those on board all felt it. The terrifying lurch of the stomach as everyone plummeted downwards beneath the waves as though Earth itself had fallen away beneath them. The Bermuda Triangle may be filled with paranormal tales, sea monsters and ghost ships, but in reality, ships are no more or less likely to sink there than anywhere else on Earth. But it is the lesser-known Dragon's Triangle that still holds a terrifying truth. These tales are grounded in science, not fiction, and this time the devil is Mother Nature herself. The Dragon's Triangle remains one of the most volatile stretches of ocean on Earth. Beneath its surface, volcanoes continue to reshape the seabed. New islands rise from the depths only to be torn apart by the same forces that created them. Earthquakes rumble through the darkness below. Vast stores of methane remain locked beneath layers of sediment and ice. For the ships that cross these waters today, the sea appears no different from any other. Calm horizons, rolling swells, sunlight dancing across the surface. But appearances can be deceptive. Thousands of meters below, the planet is still moving, still building pressure, still waiting. Perhaps that is what makes the Dragon's Triangle more frightening than Bermuda. There are no sea monsters hiding in the mist. No supernatural force reaching up from the depths. Just the unsettling reality that the ocean itself can become the predator. And somewhere beneath those dark Pacific waters, the fate of the Kayo Maru and her crew remains buried in silence.